This video was made possible by the EA Creator Network. Hello everyone, this is honeymaysims and welcome back to my channel for a brand new speed build. If you're new here, hi, welcome in, and if you are a returning viewer, it's so good to see you and I hope you've been well since the last time. So today I am building with the brand new The Sims 4 for rent expansion pack, and we are doing an apartment building in Mount Komorebi today with a restaurant and a laundromat on the first floor, followed by two bigger apartments and a studio apartment on the top floor, which also has a rooftop where the community and tenants can hang out. So this is built on the 641 Hanamigawa lot in Mount Komorebi, which is a 20 by 15 lot in the Senbamachi neighborhood. I have to say I haven't really built a lot in Mount Komorebi before, but ever since I heard about the new pack being about residential rentals and being able to make our own apartments, townhouses, duplexes, and all these other possibilities, I've just been in such a mood to make these bigger buildings and houses where multiple households can live together and also rent units. So I'm also very happy to see that my last Mount Komorebi apartments video did so well, so thank you to everyone who watched that, and your support means everything, so I really hope you will enjoy today's build and video as well. So I started building this before the For Rent expansion pack was released, so in the beginning here you won't be seeing any of the new furniture, but as we progress into the video you'll see a lot of the new exciting things coming with this pack. So I kind of did the exterior and some of the interior on the first floors here, but I waited until I got my hands on the new pack to do the interior of the two main apartments and also the studio apartments. I still do switch out some of the things I place in the beginning though, either because I like the new versions better or just to use the new items actually. So I have actually had access to the early access version of For Rent for a few weeks already thanks to the EA Creator Network, but I had to point out that I wasn't feeling very motivated or inspired to build with the early access version, because with this one you only have base game and the new pack in the game. You won't have any mods installed or reshade installed, and I don't know, I feel like I always lack a bit of inspiration whenever new packs gets released, and I'm kind of sad I wasn't really in the mood to make anything with that early access version and be able to upload it on embargo day, which was on December 1st this time. But I've been building a bit in the background nevertheless with my regular Sims 4 game and been preparing for the new pack like this build right here. But I did do some early access streaming over on my Twitch where I showed off the new cast items, new build and buy, and also some of the gameplay. And I'll definitely do more streaming with a new pack in the upcoming weeks, both building and gameplay. So if you're interested, you can always hop on over to twitch.tv/honeymaysims and hang out there. So this build is inspired by this one photo I saw on Pinterest, which is where I usually find a lot of my inspiration for builds, and I always recommend checking this site out if you're not too sure what to build next. So this one is basically a rather narrow but tall apartment building, but with a few businesses at the bottom, followed by the rental units and the next few floors. And on the top there is also a rooftop where you can hang out. So you can see that I definitely took some inspiration for the shape and purpose, if that makes sense, from this Pinterest photo. I do balconies, so each apartment gets 2 balconies each. You'll eventually see that I chose this perfect glass wall trim to put on top of the half walls, which is from the Dine game pack. And I'm not too sure how common that is to use in Asian countries, but I've definitely seen some of the glass trim where I live in Norway. So I wanted to use that here as well. I had lots of fun decorating the front and back of the build here. We do put in some greenery to try and blend it in with the existing environment here in Mount Komorebi. So I chose this beautiful red tree and also some bamboo trees, along with this nice grass from Snowy Escape. And I do use a lot of Snowy Escape items with the new For Rent items. And I tried my best not to use too many packs for this one. I usually, at the end of finishing a build, I save the build to my library and click on each pack I've used to check how many items I've used from each pack. And if there's like 1, 2 or so items I've used from a pack, I tend to switch those out with similar items from other packs just to minimize the amount of packs I've used. And I know some of you appreciate that, seeing as a lot of people don't have that many packs. And I know I haven't really done a lot of pack restrictive builds lately. Sometimes I'm in such a pack restrictive mood, like I've done quite a few base game builds this year actually that I'm quite proud of, since I've been working on my base game save file this year, and I was hoping to finish that this year actually, but I've had a lot of other things on my plate, to be honest. But next year I hope I can finish it and share it with you all. So yeah, I tried my best not to use too many packs for this build here. The building will be getting a few realistic details, you know, pipes going here and there. We have a few vending machines, which I feel is such a common sight in Japan, for example. I know this is not Southeast Asian, but since we're in Mount Komorebi, I mixed this in with, you know, like Japanese inspired architecture and style. And I've heard you can find vending machines pretty much everywhere in Japan with, you know, foods and also some other items as well, which is such a cool thing, to be honest. And I kind of wish we had something similar here. Here you would usually have like either sodas, waters, or snacks in vending machines. But yeah, having some other options as well would be quite nice. So I'm also adding a few bikes here, a hopscotch that's like chalked onto the pavement in the front here. And this is actually a new functional item from the For Rent pack, and it's going to be functional for both kids and also teens, adults, elderly. So yeah, I like that item. And there's also the cutest grill stand thingy, which is a special item from the pack actually that you will get if you buy the For Rent expansion pack before a certain date. I'm not too sure of the date at the moment, but at least if you buy the pack now, you will get access to 3 extra items, which I do believe I add all 3 of them in this build. It's the grill that I mentioned, a basket of fruits, and also some standing umbrellas. I do believe is the ones I use on the rooftop here in this build. So on the first floors here, we are going to be adding a restaurant with this like open area in the front here, where I use the chef's station from Dine, so you can either sit inside and eat or take a place outside. You will basically get a full view of the kitchen here, but I feel like this is also more of a common thing to see in some Asian countries. I think it's really cute though, and to signify that there is a restaurant here, I do put lots of cute snow escape posters on the exterior wall on the front here, along with the cutest standing blackboard with like sushi drawings and everything. I also use these Norin curtains, I do believe they're called, where that open part of the restaurant is. It fits perfectly and very realistic from what I've seen in some photos. I do have to say that the restaurant won't be functional though, sadly, if you want to use this building for the rentals. But yeah, you can't have a mixed residential and commercial lot, sadly. But I really do hope we can have something like that in the future though, along with a multi-purpose lot trade, so you can have multiple purposes for a lot. I'm really wishing for that next. But yeah, for now, that won't be possible. So yeah, if you enter the restaurant though, you will have this narrow hallway leading you inside to the main area. There's lots of different seating areas. I tried to mix it up a bit with some tables up against the wall and windows so you can sit and eat, but also have a look at everything happening outside. Some tables in the middle we have here, but also some positioned against the other wall, along with a couch actually, in combination of the chairs. And the couch part won't be functional though, but I do feel like it looks very realistic. A lot of the tables will have a menu, some lights, a hot pot. I do add a raised platform in the corner here, meant for karaoke. Karaoke just screams like Asia to me. So I found the space to add a karaoke machine here in the corner. I know it looks pretty small, but I have playtested that and it works at least with a single sim. I'm not too sure about a duo up there. but we'll see. So I add lots of arts on the walls. I also add an aquarium into one of the walls here or rooms. You will be able to see the aquarium and fish swimming around because I do add a narrow window. The kitchen will get a total renovation during this video. We do get a lot of new kitchen things like a new counter and cabinet set, the steam cooker, 2 different kettles, and some very nice clutter items which I adore, and they fit perfectly into a kitchen, like a new dish rack, mortar and pestle, some basket bowls, and a tiffin item, I think it's called. This one is basically a stack of different containers, which I feel like I've definitely seen in Asian media before. Next door we will be having a laundromat, and I intended for it to be quite large with like a storage room or something similar, but I sacrificed some of the space for a bathroom and a private dining room for the restaurant. Like sometimes you have these private dining rooms in a restaurant. I know at least in Japan they do. Here though, I only had room for one of those dining rooms since we do also have the small laundromat, which is going to look very run down with a few of the new decals, like some sort of water damage, maybe some that have exposed bricks and similar. And I do end up with like a minty wall color here. So I do use a lot of the new wallpapers, either the colorful stucco ones or the patterned wooden ones, both of which I think are very beautiful. And don't get me started on the new tiled flooring. They have such beautiful patterns. I feel like I will probably overuse these from now on. Just very cute. So in the laundromat, we do these stacked washer and dryer machines, some plastic chairs for when you want to wait for your laundry to finish. Otherwise, it's very simple, I'd say. And here you can see that I've started using all the new for rent items, switching some out and also adding additional furniture, clutter, walls, and floors. For the restaurant bathroom, I decided to use one of the new squat toilets. Meanwhile, in the apartments, I'll be using the Snowy Escape, like fancy toilet with the buttons and all. We also got a lot of new windows and also some doors with this pack, but I decided not to use any of those here actually, as I had already chosen the Snowy Escape ones. I just love those a lot, and hopefully I'll use the new windows and doors next time. I do believe my next build will probably be a build in Tomarang, which is the name of the new world coming with for rent, and it is a world inspired by Southeast Asian countries and environment. So also a lot of the new items, furniture, foods, as well as Creative assets will be very Southeast Asian centric and inspired, which I think is so cool. I'm all here for more representation in The Sims 4. The items do have a variety of wood colors, mostly with either a more neutral swatch or more colorful patterns and fabrics. I do feel like the colorful swatches are more restrictive in my opinion, as they always do, to be honest. I'm always here for more neutral colors and patterns, as they can be used more broadly in a variety of builds and architecture styles. But yeah, I did try my best to do like a few more colorful things in this build. I do quite like the floor plans I came up with for the apartments. They both have identical ones with the same placement of things, so like the kitchen is the same in both apartments, but with a few different colors and clutter. I really do like the kitchen here. It's probably my favorite room in this apartment. It's very open but kind of closed off at the same time, if that makes sense, since I put up just a few walls here where I'm going to put a fridge in that little nook and also some island counters in between those walls, so you can sit on the bar stools on the other side, enjoy some food or maybe some tea. So with the steam cooker, you do have a few options of some Southeast Asian cuisine, and with the kettle you can make various options of tea, some coffee options too, I think, and also hot chocolate. Something I think was very nice that I could fit in this kitchen though is this kotatsu table, you know, the low table with the warming blanket feature. It's very Japanese, and I also did playtest this, and surprisingly my sim was able to move around this kitchen without any issues, so that's all good. And as I've been talking about the kitchen, I've done the living room here. It was quite simple, I'd say, but we do use a lot of the new items. Also, the main bedroom uses this gorgeous new bed, and I absolutely love the dark green swatch. I gotta say, we do get some new rotten styled furniture too, and oh my goodness, I love those. So we gotta use them in this build. They also match well with the previous rotten furniture we got from high school years, I think. I skip over the second bedroom in this apartment, but don't worry, I'll do a quick tour of the entire build at the end of this video so you can see how it turned out. It's at least a twin's bedroom or like a sibling's bedroom with a few pings here and there. I also do skip over the bathrooms. They're always like the one room I just don't find very interesting to show in my speed build, and also, I'm sorry, but I did skip recording the studio apartment upstairs, but it will of course be furnished in the finished and uploaded version of this build. And I was actually thinking maybe the owner of the building would be living there, or it could be rented out as like the smallest unit in this building. And of course it's all up to you what kind of stories you want to tell, but I'll go through all of this in the tour at the end. So we continue with the second apartment. The kitchen is, as mentioned, very similar to the one downstairs, so I don't think I included any footage of me doing that one. I do change up some of the colors though. The tiles are green and pink in this apartment, and the bathrooms are more minty as well. I switched up the items I used in the living room though, so I used a different couch with this pack and coffee table. And the only kit I use in this build is the book nook kit, so you will find a few items from there, like the bookshelves and various clutter items. The dark brown swatch on the bookshelves just fit perfectly with the rest of the items for rent though, so that's all good. And I didn't really have a storyline for the previous apartment downstairs, other than it has 2 bedrooms and one of them can fit perhaps twins or 2 siblings. But for this one, we're currently doing, I was thinking maybe grandparents having 1 bedroom, their child who's an adult, maybe married, and they have just gotten a child, having the other bedroom. So you'll see that I've included a crib for an infant. So the entire apartment is very small and cramped in terms of how many Sims I was imagining living here. But I do feel like that's also kind of realistic for some families in different parts of the world, where you'll see multiple family members still living together, even if they're elderly or adults, and them having kids again, and you know, just like having multiple generations living together. So where that kid is going to sleep once they age up though, that's kind of up to the person who decides to download this. And you know, you can always renovate and make this into whatever you please, of course, but that's like at least the initial idea I had for this apartment. You'll also see me using this red shelf from time to time. This is custom content. It's called the OMSP shelf by Amobe, I think it's how you pronounce it. But you can also easily find it by searching for Sims 4 and red shelf on Google. It's just a very handy item that lets you place items very easily, but don't worry, you won't be needing this item to actually play with this build. And that's basically it for the speed build, so why don't we jump into the game and check out what it looks like in real time. And here we do have the finished build, and as you can see, we have used some of the new items, and it just blends very well into Mount Komorebi here, I do believe. So you can see we've used some of the solar panels on the rooftop there, also the umbrellas that I mentioned, the grill, the hopscotch, all the good things. It looks very like atmospheric here, which I do like. So why don't we check out how the build is looking on the inside as well. And yeah, just to mention, you will be able to get up to the apartments in the back here with like the staircase and everything. So yeah, I do really like how this turned out, and I do hope you think so too. So why don't we hop down to the first floor here. And yeah, this is the restaurant that I mentioned. We do have like the opening here because this is where I used the chef station from Dine Out as well. So we do have like the kitchen in here with this amazing new tiled flooring. And we have like the narrow hallway inside here. So we do have all of the tables here. So you have lots of space to sit and eat. You have the hot pot, arts, everything, and the aquarium that I also mentioned we can watch all the fish go blub blub in here. So yes, it's very like, I think it looks very nice. Karaoke, of course. We have the bathroom in here with a new squat toilet too. And also the private dining room here is our testing sim. So yeah, and also the laundromat. Here we can see the minty walls. This is the new stucco wallpaper from For Rent. Also the wall decals here you can see. So very like tiny, simple, but yeah, I quite like how these turned out. And why don't we hop on up to the second floor? So this is our first apartment, and would you look at that? I do quite like how the floor plan turned out. And yeah, so we do have like a small hallway here with like some storage, wardrobe, the electricity box, the electrical fuse box here, and like I feel like all the bathrooms are pretty simple. So we have one here and also one tucked over here. And yeah, look how this kitchen is looking. So I'm quite satisfied with like this kind of solution. So yeah, I do quite like the kitchen set. It's so nice. I will probably overuse this in the future as well. And the table that I mentioned with the hot pot there. Quite simple living room space here, and I do think this chair is functional, by the way. The balconies are pretty small. I'm not sure how much they will be used, but it's something. And our first bedroom here, this new bed is absolutely amazing. I do love the colors. And also the new curtains here. We do have some more wardrobe space, of course. So yeah, I use a lot of the new items, as you can see. And this is the bedroom that I didn't show in the speed build. It's really like pink, and yeah, some of the like lighter colors mixed with the darker browns here, so you will have space for 2 sims in here. And on the second floor it's very similar, I gotta say. I switched out some of like the main colors, and also switched up like some of the furniture here in the living room. But yeah, also here, oh, I forgot to mention, we have also this new like item here with the mirror, which I wanted to include in here. Here we have like a different swatch of the bed, and yeah, I quite like how these turned out. Quite simple, not too cluttered, and you can definitely like get a good look at what the new items are. On the third floor, so I didn't show any footage of this one at all, but this is the studio apartment. Also very like simply decorated. So you have the bed here. You will be able to like scoot over here if you want to have 2 sims sleeping here, by the way. And I've play tested everything, so everything functions. And yeah, so you will have 3 rental units in this apartment building. And here you can see the top rooftop here, where you can hang out, play some ping pong, grill, just sit here, maybe jam. So that's basically it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and a follow for more content in the future. If you want to be notified of when I upload a video next, make sure to click the bell icon too. This build is playtested and up on my gallery. My ID is honeymaysims, or you can find me with the hashtag honeymaysims as well. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me today as we build this Mount Komorebi apartment building. And I can't wait to talk to you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye.